Oh, we're live. We are live. Hello everyone. Welcome to Conversations with Grace. I know that we are doing this at a different time today. However, or actually this week. However, I was out of town last week on a much needed vacation, so I was unable to stream to you all that week. But we will get started very, very soon. I'm just going to do my daily or my normal check-in to make sure that everyone can hear me, and then do a few shares. One starting with my page. So welcome to everyone who's joining. Welcome. I'm just checking to make sure that I can hear myself. Welcome. Okay, so I can hear myself, and so I'm going to go ahead and share it to my group. Um, I'm going to share it also to my, I guess my page. I really don't want to, but I feel led. I feel led. So let me get in there real quick. Lord help me. Help me, Jesus. Oh, did I share it? Oh, here we go. I'm still trying to work this thing. Uh-oh. I don't know if I can do this today. I had already done it. Nope, can't do it. Whatever. So I'm going to post this, pin this to the top. Or I idea. Okay, y'all, I'm sorry. I'm just doing a few shares real quick. This is too much. Okay, y'all. I think I'm going to start it. I'm still trying to, just forgive me. I'm still trying to learn to work Facebook the right way. If this was streaming in my group, like I wanted it to, I wouldn't be going through all this. But let me share it real quick. I'm gonna share this too. And yeah. Anyway, y'all, let's get started. I ain't got time for all this. But let me see. Yep, it worked. It worked. Okay, y'all, let's hurry up and get started because I've been lollygagging. I've been doing too much. Okay, so let's get started. We have 10 questions today. I didn't know which questions to choose because these were some good questions. And look, that's why we went to 10. We normally do 7. However, I'm trying to get to them. Let's get started. So the first topic is divorce ultimatum. Divorce ultimatum. Hold up now. Let me take this off. Divorce ultimatum. This person's question is, why does a spouse change only after a divorce ultimatum? Should you move past it or be done? Why does a spouse change only after a divorce ultimatum? Should you move past it or be done? What are some things that she had to say with this? Let us see. Can you be done, or is it better just okay? So one thing she was ashamed of is that she is too afraid to end her relationship because she's afraid of hurting his feelings, and she can never put herself first, and she is miserable. She has very little friends to vent to. So why does your spouse change? Because the thing is, he don't take you serious. I'm sorry, y'all. It took me so long to get to that. He does not take you serious. Whenever you say you're going to do something and then you don't do it, they begin to lose trust in you actually doing what you said you're going to do. So, in that, you'll say, you know what? I'm tired of work. I'm tired of trying to work on this or whatever the case may be, you know, and I get you, right? I get you. It should not have to take that much, right? Until somebody decides, you know what, I'm gonna change, I'm gonna work with you, or whatever the case may be. But some people need serious awakening before they decide to believe you. Now, don't give the ultimatum unless you know you're going to go through with it. And let me give you a better advice. Do a separation. Don't, because if you keep doing the ultimatum, he's going to do the same thing, like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm going to change, and I'm going to commit whatever he wasn't doing. He said, I'm going to change, I'm going to do XYZ. However, if he reverts right back to what he was doing, let's say a week later, and you don't say, okay, you know what, that's it, I'm done, I'm gone, I'm leaving. If you don't do that for real, he's going to continue to revert back exactly from where y'all first started from. And then you're going to go in this roller coaster over and over and over and over and over again. So what I would advise you to do is don't even do a divorce ultimatum. Decide that you're going to separate until you see some major change, because that separation is going to give him a serious feel of how it's going to be without you, right? You don't have to go through all the paperwork. You don't have to go through going to the courthouse or whatever the case may be. He's just going to know that you're serious because you actually went past the ultimatum, or you stopped the ultimatum and you say, you know what, I'm going to leave. I don't have to get no divorce from you, but I'm not going to live with you in this situation, especially if the marriage contract, the marriage covenant is something super important to you, where you don't even feel like you have the grounds to just leave because you're irritated, right? If you're doing this divorce ultimatum for manipulative purposes, that's something else that you need to stop doing. Don't say you're going to divorce somebody unless you are serious about doing it, right? Because that means we're using it as a weapon. And we don't want to use divorce as a weapon. We want to be very sure about it when we're talking about it, because we don't want our spouse to devalue the words that we're saying to him. We want our spouses to take us serious. So something that you're going to need to do is choose an avenue that you could truly consider, like separating. Even if it's like, I'm going to stay in a hotel this week. Yeah, and you're going to pay for it. You don't even have to say that, but he's going to pay for it, right? Or whatever y'all situation is. You might say, I'm going to stay with my mom for a month until we can get this thing settled. Because a lot of times when you and your spouse separate, they begin to remember what they had, and it can give them a lot of hindsight, or a different perspective of what was going on versus when they were just staying with you all day and taking you for granted, not taking you serious. So I would definitely say stop giving him ultimatums. Just do it. If you're gonna divorce him, just do it. You don't even do the ultimatum thing no more. But talk about separation, or don't even talk about separation. Just separate and then come back together. It don't have to be no years of separation. For a week, see how he like that. And so we're going to go to the next one. And so it's about dating app insecurities. The question is how to explain to your boyfriend that his dating app makes you insecure. So what you had to say with this one is, how can I explain to my boyfriend how insecure it makes me when with him having a dating app opened? And I'm going to go ahead and put what you feel ashamed about with this, because it kind of gives us a little bit more context. You said, my boyfriend, you're ashamed that your boyfriend, that you learned that your boyfriend was on a dating app, and you're still with him, even though that he's on a dating app. And when you confronted him, he said he was not talking to the woman, but wanted to keep it open. So you opened up the same dating app. Okay, so give me one moment, you all. Give me 1 second. Oh, I don't even know which one I'm sharing. Okay. Whoop. Let me see. No, no, no. Give me a second, y'all. I'm about to go ahead and do something real quick. And then I'll get back to that dating app question. If I can. No, I can't. Okay, anyway. So the thing is, he doesn't care that you feel insecure about it. He's on the dating app because you're allowing him to remain on the dating app without any consequences. If he knew you was on a dating app, like and say if he didn't want to be on a dating app and he was just paying attention to you, most men not gonna accept that, y'all. They just not. But people do to you what you put up with, what you will allow. It really shows their character. Not really a good guy, doesn't really care about the way you feel, doesn't care about this relationship with you. He wants his dating app open because he doesn't see a future with you. That's what I would say. He wants his options open. He's not really settled on you. So that's why he goes to a dating app. He's not settled on you. Right. And so, I can understand you feeling ashamed that you're putting up with this and he knows it. That means he feels like he can't walk over you because you're not going to do anything about it. And we do want to make sure we move from that. We want our partners to know that we're strong. Our partners actually want a strong woman. Our partners actually don't want a woman who will put up with that. But when you show them that you will put up with that, that is what makes them keep that dating app open. They don't really take it serious, right? Because if you really took it serious, there are certain things you will not be putting up with. You just wouldn't. And so we're going to go to the next one. It's about support and betrayal. The question is, was it a betrayal when my husband left me during my jail time after I supported him through his? Now that one is something. Okay, so you had a lot more to say with this. You said, I'm in a big debate with my husband right now. Okay, so I have been there for him through like 3 prison beds, numerous jailhouse days. Okay, I go to jail to take care of something that I needed to. I was gone for 33 days. So you were in jail for 33 days. You said he left me and didn't do anything for me. Pretty much said, if you would consider that somebody, basically she was saying he wouldn't do nothing for me. Pretty much said F you. That's what she said. Pretty much said F you. And so would you consider that turning your back? They're turning their back on you? Absolutely. Absolutely. He turned his back on you. That man was not loyal. Period. He was not loyal at all. The thing is, you were more loyal to him than he was to you. And that is the issue. That's the issue. The divided loyalty. I'm sorry, I'm looking at a couple things right now. Divided loyalty. You had to find out the hard way that the person who you had been contributing to did not care about you the same way that you cared about him. And that's pretty much hurtful. I get it. It's hurtful. But at the end of the day, now you know. Now you know that this person was never really for you. This person was really using you for your your character trait of loyalty and faithfulness. He wanted someone who was faithful, but he was not willing to be faithful himself, right? And it's very unfortunate that we have to find those things out. But thank God you realize now, and so you don't do that again. Someone who you was with while he was down, he was in prison. And then the thing is, he might be looking at you when he left. Let me tell you why. Because he thinks staying with somebody who was in prison, Whoever did that is a fool. He looked at you as foolish, honey. If he would have looked at you as someone who was wise, he would make the same wise choice and stay with you. But he probably looks at being with someone who is in prison as foolery. And that's why he ain't staying with you. Like, especially how many times did he go to jail and he ain't learned the first time? That also shows about, I don't want to, I'm not going to demean your character, but he didn't learn his lesson. So you were staying with someone who actually kind of mimicked your own character traits. When you don't learn your lesson, from being with somebody like that, you know, you keep going back to them. He didn't learn his lesson and he kept going back to prison over and over and over. And he knew that you would stay with him. Maybe he wanted somebody who would encourage him not to go back to prison, not somebody who he knew would just be there. He wants somebody who will be like, you know what? You are worth staying out of prison for, because I know if I go back to prison, I'm gonna lose you. When it was with you, and I'm not trying, in all humility, when it was you, he just knew that he could keep coming and going, right? And I'm sorry that you had to find out that way. I really am, but I'm glad that you know. And so we're going to go to the next one. It's about sensitive comments. And your question is how to make your partner understand that some comments are sensitive to women. I like this question because I mean, sometimes men are very, very, very insensitive, especially when a woman is pregnant and he talks about her weight, or if she just got done, you know, delivering her baby and he talks about her weight, or, is not sensitive to her postpartum depression she may not be going, or she may be going through. One thing that I wish men would do is listen to other counselors, relationship coaches, or therapists who understand women more. And this man, I'm just going to show this book. I had no intention of doing this, but this man right here, the book is called Marriage Covenant. Ooh, can you see that? Marriage Covenant. It's by Gary Chapman. He is also the person who wrote the 5 love languages. And he knows, like, when you listen to him talk, he really understands a woman. And that is one way your partner might be able to really understand a woman. He needs to be able to listen to other men who understand women, talk about women. And there's another book by the Miles Monroe. It's called The Purpose and Power of Woman. The purpose and power of woman. Some men need to learn. Just like women need to learn about men. We're not a man. We don't really naturally know, what men like. We know what we like, So the only way he can understand truly is if he really wants to understand. And then there are resources out there. But if he is just like headstrong on being who he is without having an open heart or mind to being able to understand you or wanting to understand you, then he's going to remain that way. But I would just, I don't know what your relationship is with this guy or how serious it is. But if you want his ears to be open and his eyes to be enlightened, I would pray to God, Lord, help him to understand me, because I want this relationship to work. And I know the only way that two can walk together is if they are in agreement. Right. And so agreement also has to do with understanding. If you all do not understand each other and he's not, intent on trying to understand you and be more sensitive to you, it's going to be very difficult in this relationship. Let's go back to this one. So this one is about social media tension. Your question is, you said my boyfriend hates social media and told me to focus on myself instead of sending him reels. Mm. How to handle this in a long distance relationship. That's funny. I would send my husband reels and different things on Facebook all the time, and he did not look at them. Some of them he did look at, but he wouldn't respond. And sometimes I didn't know if he looked at it until a few weeks later. And so, to be honest, the fact that he actually said that, it kind of speaks about him and how he feels about you, because it's like, why not just let you send it to him? You know? Why does he have to make you feel bad for sending him some reels when that's just the way that you want to engage with him? Yeah, I think it just kind of speaks on him. You said, I felt offended when my boyfriend said he hated social media stuff and he felt annoyed when I sent some reels and screenshots to him. He told me to focus on myself, my job, and my school instead of wasting my time on social media. I only send him funny things to make him happy and not to dry out the conversation, because he rarely texts or spends time with me these days. He doesn't call me either. We are in a long distance relationship. It's not a relationship, honey. And I'm not trying to be mean, but if he don't barely text you, for even friends like to send reels amongst each other to just laugh and stuff like that. But social media is also a way that you keep in contact with people. Like, some people, I don't want to text them, but I know I can just send them something funny, or I'll tag them in something on Facebook, just as a way to communicate when I don't have anything deep to talk about. Right. I know certain people who I can send something funny to, and they will laugh with me. My husband will not respond most of the time to any reel, but I know I have to call my mom and say, Mom, I sent you something. Can you watch it? And she would just sit there and laugh for like 60 seconds straight. And there are other people who I can send stuff like that to on, but that's my husband. And so I don't, we live together. I don't take that to offense. At least I hope I don't. But with your boyfriend, long distance relationship, he don't call you. Y'all barely text. He don't want you sending him that. He got something else going on. He got something else going on. And those are the things that it's like, you gotta be real with yourself. Do I just not want to believe? Because this happened to me when I was in college. You said he wanted you to focus on school. There was a guy, like, they were acting like they were so busy. And I'm saying they because it was at two different, times. Acting like they were so busy, barely text me, because they wanted to talk to you when it was convenient for them. They didn't want to, you know, they didn't want nothing serious with you. They wanted to talk to you when it was convenient for them. And that's no relationship. They just, even if he told you it was a relationship, he only said that so he could have the benefit of picking it up. And he knew that you liked hearing that. So if he needed somebody to talk to when he wanted to, at least you would be there. Y'all are not in a relationship, honey. And I'm sorry that, you believed that, but it's okay. Because if you accept what I'm telling you, then you can move on and talk to somebody who want to talk to you. Send reels to somebody who's ready to laugh with you. He don't want to laugh with you. And so the next one is talking about diabetes and ED, erectile dysfunction. Your question is, why is my husband watching porn instead of resolving his erectile dysfunction issues with me? Honestly, I think I know that you had more to say about this. I'm gonna read the rest before I give you my answer. You said my husband is experiencing erectile dysfunction due to his diabetes. I am understanding of this, but you said outlet sex life, or your sex life has become non-existent due to his diabetes. I am understanding of this. Oh, of this outlet. Hold on. I am sorry. Your sex life has become non-existent. However, oh, here we go. I see on his phone he has watched porn. I now feel less than attractive and worthless because he would rather watch porn than try and resolve his ED issues to be with me. Is this normal behavior, and why is he watching porn if he has erectile dysfunction issues. Okay, I really wish I could get in here and send this. Let me see. Let me see. Oh, here we go. There we go. There we go. But no, there we don't go. So here's the thing. He knows that the porn can't see him. The people who screwing each other, they can't see his limp penis. That's just pretty. I mean, they can't see it. He don't have to explain the erectile dysfunction. He just goes in there and does what he does and get out. That's pretty much, that's the way I look at it. He go in there, he, watches the porn, and, goes on about his business. They don't have to know that he's suffering from erectile dysfunction. But the thing is, with y'all got to actually work those things out. He got to actually talk to you about his insecurities, his frustrations, and it's probably easier for him. It's probably easier for him to just go in there and, handle his business, watch some porn, and be done. I'm not saying it's right though. He's avoiding, that's what it is. He is avoiding the work that it's going to take for you all to be sexually intimate. And so, yeah, his diabetes is, affecting him. And that's another thing. He's got these health challenges. He feels insecure. And that is look, his health issues should not make you feel less than attractive and worthless. He already feel, he's the one who's feeling pretty bad. I understand that you feel that way, but it's not true that you're less than attractive because he got erectile dysfunction. He the one who's got the dysfunction. So you shouldn't feel less than attractive. You shouldn't feel worthless. You are worth something. It's not just about sex with you, and so I'm not, sure if you try to go to his doctor's appointments with him and then talk about these things, but you might want to go to his doctor's appointment. But you also said that you have been supportive of his erectile dysfunction. So it's not necessarily just the dysfunction within itself. It's the him not wanting to deal with it with you. He doesn't want to deal with it with you because it takes work. It's easier for him to masturbate than to talk to you about this. And so, is it normal? I don't know. I wouldn't say that's normal behavior, not in my household. Might be normal with some other people, but definitely don't feel less than attractive or worthless because that ain't got nothing to do with you. It really doesn't. Like but normal behavior, it might be normal amongst the people who suffer from erectile dysfunction, but in my household, that's not going to be considered normal. We would have to talk through that, and I would not accept that. Just like you shouldn't. But let us go to the next one, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm trying to do this new thing with our little Facebook, but anyway, let's go to the next question. Okay, so this is a good question. It's about introducing new partners to your young children. And so the question is, when should you introduce your new partner to your young children? When should you? And I'm like, that's a very, sometimes this question right here, you said, when is it appropriate to introduce your partner to your children ages 2 and 7? A new partner to your children ages 2 and 7. It's a new partner. The child is 2. Definitely not no time soon. And that's just me. I mean, and it's unfortunate, right, that you've got to raise your children, by yourself, if that's the case. But you don't know people. Like, you do not know this person or whoever it is. You got to be very, 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 very careful when it comes to introducing people to your child, because What if your child get attached to this new partner and then you don't even work out with them, you know? And then, I'm sorry, I'm looking down. And then it's like your partner, you don't, if they're new, you don't know this person. So you don't know, they might end up treating you bad. And what happened if they end up treating you bad in front of people, right? What if they end up treating you bad in front of your children? That's going to show them something that they should have never seen. And then your son's father or your children's father may not like it. And that's another thing. You said you dislike your son's father and you're ashamed of that. You know, I don't know. I can understand the many different reasons as far as why you would dislike them. I'm sorry, I'm looking down. But don't let you disliking your son's father cause you to do something that would be considered foolish, right? And that means introducing a new partner. Never introduce a new partner to your child. Okay? That's just a new partner, never. New, never. And that's just a sacrifice we have to make. Sometimes you might have to wait a year. I'm serious. People over here killing folks' children, raping folks, molesting people's children. Never, never. And some people might say I'm over the top. Never. Date them for a year at the least. Then they're not really new anymore. Okay. So never. It's never okay. Unless they, a friend or something. But no. But that's just me. That's my opinion. But the next question is broken trust and heartache. What is the question to go along with this? Can my relationship be fixed after financial betrayal and separation? Can my relationship be fixed after financial betrayal and separation? Let me see. Okie dokie. What did you have to say to go along with this? So, my ex and I dated for 7.5 years. We lived together for the last 6. He raised my babies since my youngest was 3 months old. I used his card to pay bills for the last 3 months. I was unemployed and I was going to pay back the money I used when I got my taxes back. He found out before I was able to pay back the money and we broke up. I had to leave and my kids got uprooted from the only home they remember. We have still been seeing each other since separating, and I am working on paying him back. He said we have to work on our trust and our relationship. My heart is broken. I miss him tremendously, and so do the girls. My question is, do you think our relationship is fixable? I really want it to be, and I miss him so much. I hurt on the inside. So, I gotta understand. So you lived with each other for the last 6 years. He raised your children since they were 3 months old. So I'm assuming they were not his children. And you used his card to pay your bills for 3 months since you were unemployed. And you said you were going to get the money to pay him back to when you got your taxes back. And you said he found out before you were able to pay him the money back. Found out what? I was unemployed and was going to pay the money back I used when I got my taxes back. So, okay, so to me, it sounds like you were unemployed, you got your taxes back, you did not pay him back, and he got mad. There's more to the situation to this. You said is your somebody who has been living with you for 6 years. Y'all dated for the last 7.5 years. He raised your children since your youngest was 3 months old. So he's been involved in your children's life. And because you had your taxes, it's something missing. It's something when you ask, is it fixable? there is something missing from this to know if it's fixable, because you didn't tell me everything. I know you didn't tell me everything, because him leaving because you used some taxes. Y'all were together for 7.5 years. And he's not nobody, and y'all were living together for 6 years. He helped raise your children. And you using your tax money instead of paying him back for this time, for this one time, is not going to make him leave you. So that's why I'm saying I can't really answer this because you're not giving me all the details, right? It definitely sounds like something is missing here, but you are saying you've done something wrong. The only thing that you can do is apologize and try to make it right. If after you have made him right, you pay him his money back, and he saw that you were ready to change, you get yourself a job. It could be that he's tired of taking care of your children. It could be that. I'm not sure. But get yourself a job. You know what I'm saying? Show him that you are financially responsible. Because he might be saying, you know what, you're too irresponsible with finances for me. If I have a future with you, you're probably going to put me in major debt. And I don't want to go through that. So if that is the case, you're going to have to show him that you know how to manage your money, that you're resourceful, that you're not prideful, that you're humble. You're not going to spend money that you owe somebody else, right? You're not just going to think, oh, I can just do this because they going to be cool with it. No, be humble, right? So it's fixable, first of all, if he's willing. But the thing is, whatever issues that you need to change, that's an answer for you. Because if you don't change this going into the next relationship, you'll continue to be financial irresponsible and cause hardship for you and your partner. So that's what I have to say for that with the limited information you did give. And so we're close to the end. We only got about 2 more questions. And this is talking about adult children going non-contact. And so the question is, why do adult children go no contact despite being raised well? Okay. Why do adult children go no contact despite being raised well? Let's look at this question. Okay, so I'm sorry about that, you all. But it says, how do our adult children justify going no contact after being raised very well? Is it a phase? Is it just the way of a generation? You know what? Adult children who can go no contact after their parents have invested their hard earned money, have invested their love, have invested their time. If they can do that, first of all, they just don't have no honor and reverence for their parents. Disrespectful is what I would say. And that is you can't fault the parent for them being disrespectful. You said you raised them right. Adult children have the choice to honor their parents or to dishonor their parents. I wouldn't say it is a generational thing or a generational phase, because I didn't go no contact with my mama. I can't say that that's a generational phase, but I could just say it's disrespect, extreme disrespect, extreme dishonor, and they don't think that they need you. Because the person who think that they need you, still they don't realize they need you. If they when they see that they really do need you, then they gonna come running back. But right now they think that they can do it on their own and stuff like that, until they realize that life is a lot harder. And I don't just necessarily need mom and dad for money. I need them for advice, for emotional support. and things of that nature. So disrespect, and they don't feel like they need you anymore. So we're going to the last one, and it is saying conflicting love declarations. And so the question is, why does a man declare love, then leave for someone else shortly after? Okay, so the question is, in a little bit more detail, is why does a man tell you how much he loves you? You're his everything. He always fights for us, then turns around 6 days later and tell you he's in love with someone else and moves out the next day. Why does a man tell you how much he loves you? You're his everything. He always fights for us and then turns around 6 days later and tell you he's in love with someone else and then moves out the next day. And so you were ashamed that you let your ex-husband come back after moving out, and then he left again 6 days later to be back with his lover. So he's divided. His loyalty is divided. He knows that you will let him back in. And you just got to, when someone does something like that, you got the right to leave him, divorce him. Somebody who is disobedient to his inward spirit to do something like that dishonors his wife. He lies to her. He's not faithful. He's not committed. And he thinks he can walk all over you like that. You know, just disrespectful to the union that you all have. Not faithful. Does not care. Does not walk in love. These things are very hard to hear. It's hard to leave, but I always want to encourage you before you decide to divorce this man, separate from him. Don't let him back around so easily. See if he chooses to change, and then if he doesn't, let him on his merry way to hurt the next person. And I don't want him to hurt the next person, but that's what he's doing. Ultimately, he's bringing that other woman in some mess. Okay, she may not even know about you all, right? But he's bringing it into her, and it's not like we want her to be hurt. We really want her to know what's going on, and if she does know what's going on and she's continuing in that, just be glad that it's no longer you. Easier said than done. I do know. And it's a lot more that we could dig into this, but it's going on 45 minutes. And I did not plan on being on here that long. But y'all, I thank y'all so much for today. I've got a different setup. Okay. And I just tried it out today, but I don't know if I'm going to keep going on with that. But remember, y'all, to submit your questions to my DM if you have not submitted them on your entry into the group. Remember, we started live therapy. We're doing it once every other week. We will continue to do conversations with Grace weekly. And we have, I'm sorry, y'all. I am sorry, you guys. I'm sorry about that. Something done happen, y'all. Something done happen. But it just lost connection. But anyway, make sure that you submit your questions to me on Wednesday for next week's live. All right, until next time. Bye.